Chris Egnoto, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Earth Skills Handbook, so thanks a lot for that. Now I want to talk about a little plant kind of quickly. As you can tell, I'm next to a busy road, so this isn't the best place to harvest food, but I can still make a good video here. See this here? These are wild grapes. This is part of the Vitis family. You need to find these tendrils on the plant. If the plant doesn't have those tendrils on it, it could be Canadian moonseed. Canadian moonseed is quite toxic. It's pretty poisonous. Okay? So look for those tendrils so you can make sure it's a wild grape, right? And then if you're still not entirely sure, take a grape off, break it open, and look at the seeds. Okay, now the seed itself is somewhat pear-shaped. Now if it's Canadian moonseed, the seed is shaped like a moon, hence it's named Canadian moonseed. Just because it says Canadian doesn't mean you only find it in Canada. You can find it anywhere. So avoid the moon-shaped seeds, and definitely make sure you find a vine that's filled with, that has the tendrils on it. So this is white pine behind it. Great for making pine needle tea, but this is what we're looking for. These are the leaves of this particular grape species. Okay, the leaves come in different varieties. You know, different species have different shaped leaves, some of which are pretty pale on the underside. Here's the tendrils I'm talking about once again. Okay, there's, as you can see, that characteristic twigs and branches with the missing fruit that have been harvested. So this here is a grapevine. See how it's shredding off? The bark just kind of shreds off. Very characteristic of the grapevines. And during a good time of the year like spring and summer, if you've got a fair amount of rain, if you're not in a drought, and you're in an emergency, you could actually cut these vines. Okay, sorry about the lighting. You want to cut it up high first. You know, go upwards several feet as high as you can reach. Give it a bit of a cut there, and then cut it down by the ground. If you don't do that, the moisture, if you cut it down by the ground first, when you cut it, the vine sucks the water back up into the stem, so you're not going to get much. So cut it up there first, it allows a bit of airflow, and then cut it down at the bottom, hold it up, or put it into a container, and you've got some tasty water to drink. But you kill the vine when you do that. Some of these vines can live to be a few hundred years old. So don't cut grapevines unless you need to. Okay? Let these plants grow, especially if it's a native variety. I recommend you don't do it unless you have to. Okay? But if you're doing some kind of landscaping and you just have to cut these things down, because they do wrap around the trees and all, you should taste it. It's really good water. But in a drought, you might not get any water at all. Or later on in the season, in the summer or early fall, you might not get any water out of it, and then you just killed the whole grapevine. So be careful about that. Another cool thing about grapevines is you can weave with them. They're pretty pliable, bendy, so you can weave baskets and stuff. I used one time to create a Swiss fire, wrapped it around the log, and, you know, did my thing. Here's another good example of wild grapevine. This is an old one. It's about as big around as my thigh. Okay? That's probably a 60-year-old vine, quite possibly. Could be less than that. And over there, growing on that tree, that's poison ivy vine. See how it looks fuzzy? Now see how these leaves are different? As they get older, they develop these points on the two sides. In fact, some of them are so exaggerated, certain species, it looks like a battle axe or something. Okay, but the younger ones have that heart shape. Okay? There's the bunch. There's the grape bunch growing right there, out of the stem right here. But it's developed a tendril to wrap around this pine branch to support the weight of the cluster. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you probably noticed the sound has changed a little bit. That's because I'm in basically a different location, because I was hoping to show you some other species of grape real quick. You know, about half the world's species of grapes are native to the eastern United States, which is pretty neat. So that being said, you can tell there's a lot of different variations in the wild grapes. Some native ones have a single tendril coming out, and some of the other ones have a Y-shaped tendril. It doesn't matter what's native and what's not, you know, and probably both of them are. What matters, though, is the fact that they have a tendril. That's how you know it's grape, okay? And as I was saying, there's a lot of variety with those grape leaves. Some of them, like I said, are shaped a little bit like a battle axe. Obviously, as you saw, some of them look like hearts, right? Some of them actually look a little bit like the leaves from American hops, or perhaps even a mulberry tree, okay? A little bit similar to that. And a lot of them have a very white underside. When you flip them over, it's bright white. Some grape leaves, when you bite into them, are kind of spongy and actually kind of expand as you bite into them. It's really neat stuff. So basically, you want to look for those tendrils, you want to look for the seeds. The leaves, there's a lot of variety there, okay? But as long as you've got those tendrils, the curlicues, and the pear-shaped seeds, and it looks like a grape and smells, tastes like a grape, well, then it's a grape. Let's get back to the video. They grow in bunches, but you know what? Let me tell you, you got to get there before the birds and squirrels and things get there. They'll harvest these things real fast. It's rare to actually see so many on a plant without them all being gone, especially if you're in a park. Everyone likes to eat them. But wild grapes, really good food, really good treat. You can turn them into a juice. I've actually heated them up into a bit of a grape juice tea before, really good. And you can actually use the leaves and wrap food up. You ever have stuffed grape leaves? It's a Greek thing, really good stuff. But I've mixed them with fish before while I was camping and everything. There's some really good stuff here. So wild grapes, really good food, and hope you guys enjoy them. If you find them, just remember, look for the tendrils, look for the pear-shaped seed, like the fruit, the pear. Look for that, okay? Otherwise, don't eat it. So I'm Chris Egnoto. You're watching Earth Skills Handbook. Thanks a lot, guys. Signing out.